if you are a rich man, you are a French man. Indeed, this is their proverb. So, Edena, Nigeria, or poorless, no more. There's something wrong from the Western media and the small group of white people. There's something wrong. Minya uti mi debia. O share French countries na. Omo na omama Africa. Yentimi nka ye humbom. From Gaddafi time up to today, Kwame Nkrumah time, omo mpre swati asiu. Say, ye be one passport. ECOWAS, yes, omo one passport, one identity card, one currency. Ni nyinara omo ba meeting ni wia na France, ebi so omo de esiye. Next time Ombeba no bia be sign no omoba obia ensign ene mahu dia esi ene ebeye Ghana fo nyina nwonwa say President Kufuor be ka say or the Ghana soldiers eko Niger odi omukọ ho akoye den odi omukọ akoye den since in the memorials this French countries, omne Anglophobes, entimi momu because of France is still colonizing them. Every pastor know this truth. Every preacher know this truth. Every bishop know this truth. Every politician know this truth. And so therefore no, omajuna bomu so no mo pese, omo ji omo mind. Efi francophone so French in semwa house all the Ghana soldier ni say onkoko awo Niger for ECOWAS soldier say enye ntokwa na omukoko pata ntokwa oni pe friend Nigeria president and Nigeria ni the most richest oil country in Africa, Nigeria. Enso ohia was so mine no a chamber bia. Aden, there is something wrong. Madame will be near friend of black Christians that have not catch a Christian. Mukro Nigeria no. If you didn't have a Christian president, that country would never be a good country in Africa unless you have a Christian president. Because the corruption that is in the Muslim leaders in Nigeria, they need a different group to come and change it. Swatiasu. And here Yorubania and Yawuseni. Corruption is still continue and all of them are Muslims. But these Nigerian Muslims, you can't compare to the Dubai, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. They are different because they know that Islam, corruption is haram. But Nigeria Muslims don't know this. So they need a different leader from other religion like Christianity to change Nigeria. The same to Ghana. How many great leaders from the Christian organization do we have from Ghana? Some are doctors, some are lawyers, but all of them, they are so corrupt. Even John Mahama from the charismatic church, Assembly of God. There is no any examples of Christianity in his rule. So Ghana need a Muslim leader to change things. Ghana need a different belief to change things. Any Christian should vote for Mamadou Bawumia to come and change things in Ghana. The corruption, Kennedy Japan cannot change Ghana. He can He's a charismatic, the same like a Kufado. When the Kufado was coming, everybody think that how he is as a charismatic leader, he will fight the corruption. That's what I say. But what happened to President Kufado government? What happened to President Kufado? All his policy. Nyamo council Babe Yinano. Otimi. But what about corruption? When Timmy and fight corruption, Katasishe ne proye. When Timmy da, Sheno, he see Jabien Juma, she Chief Justice, she your friend is Attorney General, she a Chief Justice, any judges, court, oh she omusemo omudinu nyina. What I said, asked them to me the 5 years our court. Obia we are on my nisika. Now say yet is Obia we are will be 11 million or than Saum prison. We are 11 million people. But these politicians that we are talking about and the CEO of government institution, they are stealing not even Ghana cedi dollars. Obi to say at forcing. Or South Africa parliamentar. Ultimate Malema man quite that say on Kasa. Obi oye kromfo. Obi oye kromfo. Ah, a crimofo etime free Dubai. No more be testify say at forcing. Dr. Atto Forsen. Signature any sika. Omusaka ni nyina no ayono a Ghana High Court judge. That is the day that case should be end. We need a president that will come and stand for our freedom and justice. This kind of Christian leaders we have, they didn't stand for freedom and justice in Ghana. Sebi eduaso obia wakoko ntokwa keke ti se demo breaker okwa afiase menia na hwe politicians sika omo adidi ba kokra ni wa yakase nasem ye wiedi enti okọ jail ana bibi ti se nasam court ahwe ama court mo na ama ne frida no nsem ni nyina sense ho sagrame nsem ne sense ho omo je double salary nsem ne sense ho edina kamakro onu kura de wadwane ekọ America they say sanso na your friends say Atto Forsen visa na passport say you find the passport man because ohun say wan hwe ni ya ye de betum obon anu say okase okosa no yare e wa America inuanom mo na mama youth efa edi omo life too risky efa desert so sa kopie Libya akwa abrochire is our leaders are the cause. Africa leaders all loans IMF sika de bramuni nyina no ohwe omo kita article 71 year sika omo gigi yes da momo bibia ye firi omo ntua tax se omeye adwuma ma man no omo ntimi ye indi mama corruption no ehiafo no kra no affect won because mo inka sika ne biko mo nsem no kra no yebeka so mu weskenti mo ya mo kra na ma say asam no ohia na ohu scan bi menia a otie me oye osofo oye preacher oye bishop preach about corruption. Our Africa, our big problem is corruption. Kuwa ebeni nyina 24/7 the system is working. everywhere because of internet no they be American. Obia who the cost or maybe mo. Wow, she Ali Bongo. Or shutting internet down. If he said election no a bano. Obi betime hu die AC ewo Gabon. Into no communication, no internet, no foreign observance. The Albert Yarn said, Ali Bongo was saying winning. Tija for say, and then in the Yaji, that corruption. So, Unipo destiny, yet to about 40, what me room, my 42 years or Mabongo. So, what I say, all it is a kenny Ninala, Nipa 2 million. Ketwa seyo na omutu oil. Ka Gabon de so biara eyo sikeni. So atas nso ko Gabon omoda India dem Ghana kura yesu hia ye pese ye kwa America ye pese ye kwa Britain ye pese ye kwa ye president ehia na kufu de aban ukọ Gabon mutu oyira aduane a Gabonfo di no ye de magane ni a ondi ye aduane a ye kase so man we omo aduane kese pa ene aye bia Ghana for se fufuo ukọ mu a TZ tozabi ye de ma Gabonfo cheap food no ye de ma o Ghana ni a you see hina wo ekurase a hu se aduane obeka se krama krendi so atase aduane e wo Gabon aye mayok no aye bibia banche ni atwe start ni epim ni e dia hihye ye friends de sa ahabanya na kanetiti no omudi ebru omuye ebru no omudi ahihye mu ni aye ntiantia no omwatwitwa omunnoa omumanutu no omaye de omaye ntise na esi ye dokron se na esi ye fanti dokron no pepepe atenten ne ye de hama chichire no tenten ya chichire ho se na esi ye fanti dokron no omudi ne de tenten na okoho a omwatwitwa ene nam ene omore that is the food uye ni fru a eye pembere ana pe chocolat ene omudi with all the oil so atiaso na hwe sika egu omu jese sika no ayete se omudi sika no kogu France Benia otieme you what I say. And this is the kun enya ene because send a soldier for French francophone soldiers in any abreno kun nyae and I'll show mu soldiers no so ye tua omo guard president no ye tua omo ka allowance too much che omo ye soldiers no francophone ya chem gendarmerie national and police and militaire ya chicho mu and almost a special forces you could train omo au Morocco and France no guard president no all the French countries sanity omo ye special ono krabet match soldier ni and police your guard president no minia otie me oko Cote d'Ivoire the same system inti ye share western countries no more can democracy about Africa na ye share ye francophone no democracy na almost you practice na this is not democracy if you are a Christian. How can Paul Biya, how can we call a Cameroon say it's a democratic country as Paul Biya is still a president more than 40 years. He's very, very old man. Cannot do nothing. He cannot walk. He cannot speak properly. But we call him the president. And every election he wins. And the country have been robbed by the West. How do you think Africans will not join Russia and China? Because the Western leaders didn't show a good leadership of democracy to Africa leaders. Even just Africa people, the preachers and pastors, they know. And the Islamic leaders know that the West leaders didn't demonstrate democratic leaders to African nations. Why? Because we see the Francophones. All the mineral resources go to the West. Even some of the English countries that colonized by England, they are still taking the mineral resources and they don't develop the places. And they put Africa or a black man to become ashamed everywhere, as we are like a animal, or after we follow animals. After animals, we are the ones following them. Then the white people are the human beings. If you go to Europe, America, this is how the white people treat black people. Why? Because our leaders give themselves to them to exploit the country. And they come with the Christianity, which brings civilization to the world, to Africa. But when we go to the Bible and when we see their life in Africa, we see that what they come and preach to us, this is what they don't practice it. They don't practice the Bible. That is what James was saying, the lost brother. Say, faith without works is dead. All what James was saying, Christianity without practical, Christosum, sɛ mewɔ gyidie nko a ne nnwuma nka ho a yɛn nua ɔsɔfo panyini a ɛyɛ Yesu Kristo nua James sɛ Kristosum no ɛyɛ hu ankɔ asɔre kora ɛyɛ osom bosom kora ɛyɛ ɛfiri sɛ ɛyɛ hunu yɛka sɛ bibi yɛ hunu a it's nothing. Ntumi mfa bibia nkɔmpɛ bio. Nti abrɔfo no a ɔmo bae no metumi ama country baako na mabɔ asɔre bi din sɛ about 49 missionaries of the Church of Christ went to Botswana. None of them is able to build even a church. They were doing business. I went there myself to do research. I didn't see one of church building that the 49 missionaries that the white people of America sent them to Botswana to build a place to see that when they were here, this is where they were living. No, you can't see. They were after Damo. They were doing business. They were do business. Leadership by examples. Leadership by examples. Faith and works. You can see today, people are preaching in Britain, they arrest them. America, they are arresting them when they are preaching about sin. You see? So, what do we do? This time have come President Kufuor, yes, Niger, yes, even the Parliament of Ghana. Say, Omodi Sasam Nebeba, say, Ghana soldiers. Everything about war, Ghana always be independent because we always want peace. We talk on the table, diplomatic ways, and solve the matter in the democratic ways, not about using military force. No. Using military force is only to kill children and women and old people. Doesn't solve even any matter. Remember Assis in Syria. Did the problem solved by the military? No. Iran, Afghanistan, did the problem solved? No. Even now Ukraine and Russia, will the problem solved by the military? No. But what solve problem? Diplomatic ways. Come and let us make a negotiation. So Ghana Parliament, I know some George Nigo Prabram will never accept President Kufuor to take Ghana military. Even President Kufuor, his own soldiers, the soldiers belong to him. They are not able to fight Galamsey. See Ghana waters everywhere. Then, even your home country, they are not able to fight Galamsey people. How can you take this kind of soldiers that you are taking them to go and give it to Niger? Your own, your backyard, Galamsey, Ghana Armed Forces fail you. They fail you. They are not able to fight the Galamsey people. And even people in Ghana are putting the blame on you that you are the chief of Galamsey because your soldiers is not able to fight. If the soldiers are able to fight the Galamsey, everybody will praise that, oh, during the time of President Kufuor, his soldiers is able to fight the Galamsey. So if the soldiers are not able to fight the Galamsey, we put the blame on the President Kufuor and NPP government that their soldiers is not able to fight Galamsey. If the soldiers that we say, oh, the NPP soldiers and President Kufuor soldiers, they are able to fight Galamsey. So we don't want any war in our country. The war that we are fighting about poverty and corruption, we are not able to fight. How do we leave this thing and go and fight another war? Yan kasa ye fear. War ye fighting. Ye pon ho de bia no intimi wie no. Ye corruption. Any Galamsey. Yentimi nso ano. Ni a yama soldier force. Hey. Amuko Niger akoko ama ekowa. Ekowa ze ne yete ne say omumra no munkoku obi ma so emubu soldier ni na omumpa Siberia. Siberia no so the constitution next year nkobo hu say sa goda any mineral resource Niger won obobo ho ban adentini mubu no so ye papa ede na omumubu no. All the French countries have the same problem Niger have. Nti o yem Yankopon say ye den power ni hwe yem fa ni hwe French countries no, because we need one Africa. O share French countries na omunya independent. So wa untu kwa ngwatena ho no omunya independent. They be America Sasem no 24/7. Say French countries of Africa omunya independent. So what you say Gabon there kind say wabe tu Ali Bongo yi sɛ France for na de ebi ɔmabɔ saa kwa no paa efi sɛ Ali Bongo no wakɔdwen Commonwealth a sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkyɛnyi bibia ɛyɛ te sɛ England na ɔtumi develop Gabon a ebi a ɔno ɛna France fo ehu sɛ sika ɔmo nye firi wɔ no Ali Bongo waban no ɔmo nyi waban no koraa sɛ ndue twa nyina France gya engyae ebi a na ɔmo aba ɔmo abɔ ɛsogyafo a sɛ yɛntu no sɛ nyɛ saa deɛ a ɔmo nya starteɛ yɛbɛhu deɛ bɛsi so ate ase ebi sɛ kuu no France na ɛde baa sɛ ɔmpere na adeɛ a na wabɔ pa so ate ɛne na the whole Africans ɛkyɛ sɛ ɛyɛ one both Muslim Christian to stand against this because it is not advisable say every day say now the president of South Africa Ramaphosa Kano every day we go and became beggars to the white people. Our children go there to look for jobs. A time is coming that African people need to depend on Africans. We have all mineral resources. What make us poor? Our leaders need to think about this. Our leaders, Ghana have everything. Uranium Ghana have. Everything he have. Even stone, fire stone, stone fire, Ghana have with them. Everything. But why are we poor? There's something wrong. Use Niger, uranium, gold, and other minerals that Niger have. And Niger is the whole world know Niger as a poor country. And then they depend on the NGOs, which is the France, the Western have made Niger a poor country, but Niger is not a poor country. If it is Niger supply a light to the whole France, and France, the whole Europe, respect France as one of the richest country in Europe, and his light is supplied by Niger, but Niger is a poorest country, then there is something wrong with democratic president that we vote them. The civilian president that we vote them, Akufo-Addo and his group that we vote them, Jomama them, there's something wrong. If a military is to remove Niger president, that the people vote, and for we to cover this secret that Niger is not a poor country. It's not a poor country that he doesn't have nothing. He needs to depend on. I just say, NGO for Niger. If you so you hear me, Oko Ghana, Niger for him so me here for almost less the sika. Now, almost the station, Niger back on the Yerebe, you know me, the son. Nanum kwala almost less sika kwa Accra to Masi Tamari almost less sika if you say yet the two teams say Niger for a year for almost to me do a from Niger Sabe say Ghana and Yama yentimin cafe episode me here for one apostle so me here for a yes sad debia yet the two and democracy or democracy no. And then I had a course. See it me a research, say, Niger for, yes, you me here for, yes, say, into some money, dear Yamapano, or more our massa cinema. In Casa, Saku NC. And a president now, you vote to no baswa or yach Niger, so just actually, or buy no honest. And also say Yama we are no. The rain you free, yet the marble free, good you free or so anwa. Senka Kumba. Everybody will trust the democratic president. Oko Kameruma, the same thing. Oko Gabon, the same thing. Oko Equatorial Guinea, the same thing. Oko Congo brother, the same thing. And yet Niger Kwana, Africa Mahu, the whole French country. Even Abricos cocoa. It is, they are buying it any like how you go market and buy salt. Instead they send a boy yet. Sana cocoa at here. Abrafone to cocoa to say almost send our cotton injury. So cocoa a juma who cocoa when ye and yes morte. France funny free. So I say. And yet to Africa a poor Africa a poor Western country have set our mindset like that. We need to wake up. The pastors, the bishop, and the local traditional leaders, we need to start preach about corruption. We need to start it to know how, if somebody come from the West, we need to know what he want to do. What is his problem? And what business is come to do? He's coming to exploit us. He wants us to be slave again. I've even seen a church that the pastor is making his fellow believers slaves in Africa. Meaning are with him. I go all through Africa. I saw this thing. Like a preacher making his own members slaves. We need to wake up. If we go to charismatic churches, you'll find what I'm telling you. Do your research. The church members became slaves to the church leaders. To what I say. That division, you who are sorry, Yinala, a Western white people, the few white people. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. Those people who stand against it, they try to put names on them. They try to put crime on them. They try to put case on them. They try to giving police people to arrest them. They will say many things upon them. But if you go through to that kind of a black pastor or a priest and you go near him, everything they say, it is not true. It is not true. Because you will find it that man didn't allow them to exploit the church people. So that man became a target to them. It is like that man is the devil to them. Many are out here, man. Africa, as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah vision, we need to be one Africa. All these borders, it is a few white people who it is their target to divide us with border. But when you go to Europe today, there is no border. They open the borders. If you go to France and you are from Italy, if you committed a crime in France, they will do you the same thing they do Frenchmen. When we talk, if we say we are copying the West, why now, if you go to Lakoji or Bodagri, you find many cars, trucks loaded, parking, they can't go. Why? Because of custom, because of this thing, these cars will be there. But why? Where you learn democracy from, or your colonial leaders have stopped it. But he have given you the same law to block you to become poor. If you go the border between Cameroon and Gabon, you find the same thing. Some cars can load food this mayox and many things from Cameroon to go and sell it in Libreville. At the border, everything can destroy. Why Africa leaders, you are making ordinary Africa people to suffer like this? When the same border, when you come to Congo, border between Congo and Zambia, you find the same problem. Kasimalisa and between Lumbashi and the border that is in Zambia, you find these trucks bringing food from Congo to Zambia. Some of the even trucks are going up to South Africa, Cape Town. You find them packing. What is wrong? Black people, what is wrong with us? Some trucks can be there 2 weeks, 3 weeks is there. The police don't mind, immigration don't mind, customs don't mind, and they will tell you that this search paper, there is something inside, they must know from that. What is wrong with Africa leaders? Whereby Congo colonial master was France, and Zambia colonial master was England. But as you go to the Europe and see these borders they have opened, I never give up. I pass Bad Bridge and come again to Bad Bridge and South Africa, Zimbabwe and South Africa, that border called Bad Bridge. I come and find the same many trucks parking. What is the problem? If you ask the truck driver, he will tell you, they say so, I must wait some paper. South Africa, one never accept me to go. You'll be there sleeping. All the things inside, some of them used to destroy. What is wrong, Malema? Bad Bridge border with Zimbabwe, with South Africa. Did the Zimbabwe, those car is coming from Congo, most of them from Congo coming to South Africa. Some of them, these trucks coming from Zimbabwe, they are not bringing any ammunitions. They just bringing the common, ordinary things that we use daily in those trucks. But it is a problem on the border. What is wrong with the AU? You hear the point? The same thing. If you cross the border between Ghana and Ivory Coast, the same issue. The same issue. I was very happy that Togo people just arrest Maya with his team to cross Togo. And he exposed everything. Togo and Ghana speak the same language. But to go to Togo, it is like you are prepared to travel to Afghanistan. You hear the point? Togo and Ghana, they speak one language, one local language. But I'm happy if some people, like ordinary people, person, say this thing on television, Ekufuado will not believe. The president's son, Yadama's son, when we say democracy is not about monarchy, that a president die, Ekufuado die, his son become a president. This is what happened in the French-speaking Africa countries. And France who know democracy, justify this. Justify. He even support it for them to do like that. So how can black men respect France people or the West? Because when we talk about West, France and America and those who follow, you hear the point. Why they don't want Willemaya to pass there? Because you expose, you bring all what is happening in Togo, which is against democracy, to the world. That is why they hold him there. In the French country, that is what is happening. They don't like Anglophobes because their mindset, they have manipulated their mind that the Anglophobes are bad people. They are thieves. It is like how they manipulating Nigeria people that, it is Nigeria who is giving Ghana light. But I've been in Nigeria East, I've been in Lagos. They don't have light. So why did they able to manage to give it Ghana light? But when you meet Nigerians and are saying this, and you Ghanaians want to talk, even if you don't take care, they will kill you. You see, it is the leaders who have put this type of message to Nigeria people's mind. Even I'm from Eastern region. I was born, I see light. I'm 50-something years. From Akosombo down. But when I come to Nigeria, they said they are the one giving us light. You see. You see how they have manipulated the people's mind. So those people who are hearing me today, Africa can change if we stop depend on the few white people who try to be superior than any woman being in the earth. In the church, they are the one who want to taking the leadership. In the politics, is the one they want to take the leadership. So, if we are able to stand that we are all equal and we all need to work together. If I have gold, you need to come with the proper way of to buy. You hear the point? If you go to Ghana and you see some of the contracts that some of our leaders sign, even people who didn't go to school will not do that. Remember Tema Harbor. He brings billions of money to Ghana government. Our former president, John Mahama, sell it. It did not appear in the newspaper that they want to auction that airport. Anyone who have money, he must come with the money and buy it. No. It is a corrupt France person, corrupt France millionaire who buy it. And he buy it at 7 billion. And that 7 billion is taking the whole country 30-something years. And even that billion that they collect, the men who buy it will not pay tax again to that 30-something years. So if the men who is billionaire don't pay tax, who must pay tax to the country? It's the poor people. And if you ask John Mahama today, that's 7, we hire independent auditor to ask him that 7 billion. They must go and ask him what he used that money for. It will become a problem to the whole organization of NDC. God doesn't like what our leaders are doing, and they call themselves Christians. I'm saying this to our leaders in Africa. All this corruption, manipulation, and lies, and making the people poor. President Kufuor, One day you are going to give account. Ex-President John Mahama, ex-President Kufuor $1, one CD. All of you will one day stand for the judgment. Not only you, but all the African leaders. Oman Bongo will face his judgment for exploitation that he have done in Gabon. Obiangama, Paul Biya, and those who follow, making the continent that God himself knows that is a rich country, but making the people poor, and the people, black people are not respected in the West. You people one day will face harsh judgment, that there will be no mercy on you people. Because the suffering that we are making people, even some of the people, some of the children, food is a problem. You can see how Nigeria is rich. And there was a video circulating how Nigeria children are fighting for food. And the same leader, president of Nigeria, you will find him one room with billions. You are going to account as the Quran talking about. Because all the Nigeria leaders became a president are Muslims. And you are not practicing Islam. If you want to, if we, the people who practice Islam, we know. Nigeria leaders are not practicing Islam. If Nigeria leaders are practicing Islam, some way criminal power, you must compare them with Dubai, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. But because Christosum no, Kremosum na ye, Kwesia Mankwa, Christosum ni bi. He's a thief, he's a Muslim. He's a liar, he's a Muslim. That's how Nigeria leaders, they are Muslims about. A time is coming, you must see what happened in Niger. It will happen in Niger, it will happen also in Nigeria. It will happen also in Cameroon. The people are tired of that so-called democracy. The Christians have preached that people must be patient. Things will change. But things are still going worse because this leadership, called democratic leaders, they are not ready to change. They are not ready to change. It came democracy now in Africa. We saw that it is a few people becoming rich, and the majority who voted them became poorest to poor. And this kind of thing is not democracy. It is not democracy. You see, most of their leaders became businessmen, they are rich. All of them want to be president, to become richest. Especially if you go to my country, Ghana. John Mahama became a president. Then we saw most richest people in Ghana, John Mahama appear. His brother appear. This is a magic. This is a magic. Like President Kufuor became a president. After his self finished, we see President Kufuor is the most richest people in Ghana is President Kufuor. It is his finance minister. This is a magic. This is a magic. This is not democracy. This is what is going on in this democracy that we are talking. Africa need to try to set apart its own democracy. Or this democracy is making Africa poor. Because the leaders are not ready to fight the corruption. Because they were put in a corrupt way. And brothers, many are not me. Say, Yankasa, I started and form ya democracy near see by the abrofone ya. And ye be do me be queen. If you say, oh, share democracy, NPP for bar leadership na man, is security. NDC for bar leadership na no mo yesikafo. Ye pe esikafo pa mo Ghana. Oko ne internet 24/7 eye adwuma. Gogo hwe ubonhu se Jomama no oye Ghana president ni din wo. Ninia edi wo. Saa so ekufu advocate ewie esebo ye man ni wi a ubonhu se ono so yede na be se ono ye most richest. Ye di say ebu o man. Ye di say ebu o man. Oye den be ye richest. Die koko. Die factory, die adwuma na oye. O man sike nyina e di amount. Say be de be hwe o man na so. Na fe ni ama toto. Afi de wa wia se sika na ma o man ni sike nyina be o dia. Ye hwie sika fo o man no ma e wo president. Enye ni wo ma democracy. Enye ni mu wo Emma, the friendly democracy. Oko France sanity. Joye, omudi any MP. Omo president, France president, no. Official on the base genip kasiye pesigeni o France. Na France president ya we fi abanso. Eyen mgasuma France. Oko America sanity. Ye pesigeni kasiye ewa America na Obama. Ewa America. Enye brigade Obama. Sanity. Eye niwo kese eme bibi man. If you say ye di democracy no api ya dwimu sama. Ya bibiase. Ene French for no ye nya my life mom. No fight for full independence. Full independent England, Denmark, all the English speaking countries, Zambia, South Africa, the African Zimbabwe, French phone in your modi. Ea, ibiri montiasi.